All right, guys. So, the Amazing Spider-Man. Um, very interesting. I have some things to say, but overall, I'll just go ahead and go around the table. Okay, we'll start with you. How'd you feel about the movie overall, the first one?
Well, overall, I found that I enjoyed it. Um, I was a little confused on why it received such bad ratings. Maybe just because I enjoyed it, but I mean, everyone has their opinion, but I really liked it.
Okay, German.
It was pretty good. It was pretty. I enjoyed it. I was wrong. I remembered it being worse than it was. Um, but overall, I mean, it was just. We'll get into the details, but it was pretty enjoyable. I liked it. I would rewatch it.
Nice. All right, Maggie, you.
I enjoyed it. It was a fun watch. Definitely something that I would be more willing to rewatch than the other Spider-Man movies.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh,
So, no, that's good. So for me, right at the beginning, we'll do the pros first. I like the way that they focus the story more on the death of the parents rather than Uncle Ben. Just like the other ones. Because even before the movies, if some people had read the comics, I mean, it's pretty obvious. We all know Uncle Ben dies, but I personally don't remember how their his actual parents died. I just know they were dead. I thought it was a car crash, but I think it was good because not this movie, but the second one, which we'll get into later, it rolls over that story. It's really involved with the parents of Peter Parker, and I thought that was good. I was gonna say negatives. I liked how the first is being the first movie of this two-part series. What Kay said earlier about the first Spider-Man movie with Toby, it came off. She said like cartoonish. I felt this one felt more. It really felt more like the comic. I wouldn't say cartoonish, but it just felt. I don't know. It was a totally different vibe the first 20 minutes compared to that first Spider-Man movie. So I thought that was great. But also I think we'll get into the second one as well. Emma Stone, I think, really did a great fucking job these two movies as Gwen Stacy. I think she was really, really fucking good. I hope we see her again in the Spider Verse, even though she's spoiler. We'll get to it. But yeah, so I'll go ahead. I'll start with Maggie. What did you like about this movie in particular?
In particular, I feel like I don't know. I've heard across several like different like places and stuff and people that the Spider-Man came across as too cool or whatever. And I mean, yeah, but then I think about it and I'm just like, well, like all the other different iterations and stuff that I've seen personally of Spider-Man from like animated shows and stuff and like all this other jazz, he tends to come off as pretty cool. Like, yeah, he's still nerdy and everything, but like he's a pretty cool dude and stuff, all things considered. So I don't know, I just find it like really weird how people are like, oh, this Spider-Man is like too cool, and I'm like, oh well, what are you implying and stuff? Like, I don't know. I feel like um, Tobey Maguire's like version of Spider-Man and stuff was kind of like the outlier and stuff because like he wasn't necessarily the coolest person. Like straight off the bat, you were able to see that like he was being portrayed as like this really like dorky like outcast type of a person, and I'm just like, well, like compared to like all the other Spider-Man and stuff, like his version of it is pretty different and stuff.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you later, especially in the second one. But what do you think about our Peter Parker? You think he's cuter than old Harry Osborn from the first trilogy?
Um, wait, what? What was the question?
I think that's a
I think he
yes.
wants to know who you think more handsome.
Yes.
Uh,
Who do you find
this
particularly more
Peter
handsome in this film?
Parker or James Franco.
And there's a reason why I asked,
In
but yeah.
terms, I mean, in terms of looks, it was definitely James Franco.
Ooh, Lord.
Up until he got
She thought about it
Wow.
though. So
And that lazy
it's
eye.
what
yeah. Well,
for-
excluding the lazy eye.
Leave him alone.
for me. Yeah, no lazy eyes here. But just lazy acting and so I think this Peter Parker compared to Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire, I think he had the right actual like frame and size age wise, I think, to be Peter. I just think he came off more like a dork than a nerd. Like when girls say like I like nerds, they think about this guy, but in reality it's like Toby or like, you know, like some robot, like, you know what I mean? This guy's like a Forever 21 nerd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a little skinny dude, smelly tea, Adam's apple, you know, fucking dude. But, that's what I think
I
of
can
him.
picture so many people.
You know, some type of guy that my sister would like to date. But
Monster all day. Yeah.
and then also too, I think I didn't like the suit at all. I think this is the worst suit. And out of all the 3 other Spider-Mans, it's just not, it didn't do anything for me. Did it?
I have to agree. That dude was not it.
Yeah, especially the first one. I was like, what I thought they would upgrade it in the second one, but it's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to Kay. So Kay, how did you feel the role of Emma Stone in particular with how they did Mary Jane in the first one? Do you think they did better with Emma Stone, or do you think they kind of portrayed her, you know, just almost the same, just she's blonde and she's not redhead?
Yeah. No, I feel, well, in my opinion, I really loved Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy and everything.
I did too.
And yeah, and I really appreciated the fact that they made her like right from the beginning, like kind of like her own person, kind of like Maggie was saying from the past movie, with Tobey Maguire. You know, they made her life revolve more around Peter than anything. And with Gwen Stacy, like, I mean, she had her own thing going on with like her whole internship or whatever she was doing. And like, and I mean, obviously she was like super smart. And I think they made her like a character that was actually, well, it feels bad to say this, but it was actually useful. Like, compared to,
I totally fucking agree with you.
compared
Don't get me started on that Mary Jane fucking girl, but yeah.
But yeah, I was like the biggest Gwen Stacy fan.
Yeah. Yeah, Emma Stone's cute and blonde. German,
Mhm.
what did you not like in particular in this film? I want you to get
What
the ball on that.
I think well, I mean, like I said, you know, overall it's pretty enjoyable. But I have to say, like, I think I mentioned it earlier that I remembered it a lot worse than it actually was. I remember mentioning, I don't know if it was in the Zoom or just between us, that I felt like they were trying to make Andrew Garfield look cool, but
that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, but it didn't seem as bad as I remembered it. I remember it being a lot more cringy, but it definitely wasn't, you know. But personally, what I don't like about the film is I'm sure a lot of people feel this way about like maybe the Tobey Maguire movies or like Tom Holland movies, but for me in this scenario, or in particular with this storyline, I just couldn't feel like emotionally impacted. At least in this film, you know, in the first one, I just didn't feel like I had this moment where I was like, I don't know, got goosebumps, or like I just felt bad for him or something, you know. There was more drama. I mean, with the whole with the parent situation, and obviously him having the conflict about not being able to maybe date Gwen Stacy and whatnot. But something that I did like here was that right away they kind of addressed the whole Gwen Stacy knowing that he was a Spider-Man, which I felt like alleviated a lot of the pressure, and they were able to move on to like the villain part of it, you know. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like the suit. It just looked whack in my opinion. I just didn't feel like emotionally impacted by his character or his story or anything. I mean, Uncle Ben died, you know, in this movie, but it was just like, it was just fast, and like he didn't give him like, or I didn't feel like his spiel and things like that were as like powerful. I don't know. I just didn't feel like I don't know how to explain it. I just like, it didn't hit me.
You weren't
You know?
emotionally attached to this movie. I get it. That's what I was saying about this kind of reminds me of the movie Aquaman. I couldn't take Jason Momoa serious like the first few like half of the movie, but then I'm like, this is actually not that bad of a movie, and I ended up really liking it. But with this guy, no disrespect for him, I think he had a big role because of the fallout from Spider-Man 3. You know, maybe that's why you said you thought it was more whack. Just we perceived though the last Spider-Man movie was whack. You know, this one's gonna be, but for what it was, going back to what you said about relieving the pressure with Emma Stone, I think that was really smart of her knowing who Spider-Man was. The only thing is, it really made it cheesy with Aunt May. Like she was in so many, and she's like, you know, towards the second one, we kind of know, like she just knows, she just won't say it, you know. But it really felt like it just got stupid, like cheesy. Because even like in the last trilogy, Aunt May already knows by the third movie that Toby's Peter Parker. I mean Spider-Man, but you know, they don't address it, and they never really addressed it in this one. But I think it was smart addressing Emma Stone. But all right, let's talk villains. Dr. Connors, what do you guys think about him? I thought he did a great role. I thought this was one of the more underrated probably villains that we have coming throughout this whole No Mama's Way Home. I really liked it. I really liked the incorporation of Oscorp too. I don't know if you guys played the video game, the Spider-Man one for PS4, but it's really science heavy and it involves a lot of Oscorp, and I really like that they really involved the company in this one. So I'll go back to you, German. What do you think of Dr. Connors?
I really like the character and the actor that portrayed him. I can say, yeah, I mean, he did a really good job. I mean, I liked it. I liked maybe his design could have been more. I mean, I'm not no CGI expert or something, but maybe he could have had a cooler design, I guess. But I liked the villain story of it. You know, it was pretty simple, yet it made sense. You know, as to why he's just trying to grow his arm. You know, and it reminded the whole serum thing of trying to regrow limbs kind of reminded me of Captain America, because that's what it seemed like, that they were making a serum that was gonna be able to like kind of mix species, and one of the benefits, at least for him, was gonna be that he could regrow limbs, because he was missing an arm, but at the same time, like it also brought forward like bad things, and that's, you know, how he comes into a villain. But I mean, his origin story, it made sense to me. I really like the acting. I really like the character. I'm pretty excited to see him again, you know. And I hope the same actor. I mean, I enjoyed his portrayal a lot.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get punched by invisible people again. I can't wait to look for that. Before I get to Kay and Maggie, I want to bring this up. So it's funny that you said about the graphics. So if I could somehow exit out of here. Okay, apparently I can't. But the budget for this film was almost double compared to the first Tobey Maguire movie. So it's around $239 million. So, I mean, that's almost double. They really, really went all in on this. So, that's, I mean, I don't know. That's fucking money's money. I mean, with that kind of money, they could have just, I don't know.
It was a good movie. I mean,
it was.
Obviously, it paid off.
It was.
Obviously,
It was. Don't fucking interrupt me, okay? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. But before I forget, it was a 72% Rotten Tomatoes. So I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either, you know. But then again, we see like the Eternals has a 58%, and I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. But
racist, homophobic bastard.
Anyways, but no, I mean, it paid off. I mean, it made him, obviously they did well enough to make a second one. Obviously not well enough to do a third one, but I mean, he's got a pretty huge fan base. I mean, I feel like everybody's looking forward to hopefully seeing, their Spider-Man, in No Way Home. He obviously built a fan base.
Because
And it's
there
not so
is.
much even, yeah, and it's not even so much like Andrew Garfield. It's not his fault that he had to be the one to play Spider-Man after they're trying to reboot it. After the Tobey Maguire movies.
Especially the way
Um,
the second one ended. That's not his fault. So I feel like they will
Yeah.
probably do more. I think we're gonna have a little more Andrew Garfield in No Way Home if he shows up rather than Toby. I think Toby's gonna be there just for nostalgic at this point. He's the Adam West of Batman at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let's going back to Kay. So I'm gonna just keep bugging you with Emma Stone. So I'm sorry. Actually, well, you know what? Let's actually go to the second one because it's gonna tie into the second one, and I don't really want to start till we do an outro. So let's go around again one more time. Let's start with Maggie. Maggie, any last words about the first Amazing Spider-Man?
Not really. It was a fun movie. Definitely something I would watch again.
I would too.
Did you
Right.
did you have a favorite scene from this movie?
Wait, who are you talking to?
Like you literally, you didn't ask anybody.
Well, anybody.
Okay,
We usually
Maggie.
mention
We'll
favorite-
go around. We can do that. That works better. All right, Maggie, go ahead. What is your favorite scene from this movie?
Funnily enough, it didn't revolve around like actual like plot line or like characters. It was that one scene where Spider-Man is like swinging through the city for the first time pretty much. Finally with like having gotten control of his powers and stuff, and like they do that first person point of view. I really like that. Where like he goes like onto the building and like sees his reflection. It was really cool. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's a cool scene.
What about you, German and Kay?
You can go first.
Well, it's kind of cheesy, but I like two scenes. I liked the one scene at the end where he's trying to head over to is it Osborn? Where he's trying to head over there, and then like all the people started helping him with like the machines and everything.
Cranes.
Yeah, the cranes like making a way for him. I love that scene.
Oh, that was
And
good.
then,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I really like the scene where he ends up saving the kid rather than like trying to go after the lizard guy.
Oh, okay, on the bridge.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it showed like a different kind of like Spider-Man, I guess. Than
And I
like,
think
what-
that was his advantage. It was good like that.
Mhm.
'Cause, him taking off the mask, they made him really like, hey, I'm really just a person.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, but you, German?
I have to say that my favorite scene was the one that Katie mentioned about the cranes. I don't know. I really like that scene. Especially because the whole movie they kind of make him seem like a vigilante. A vigilante that people are just kind of like, or the cops are looking for him and whatnot. And I mean, right before that, he has this showdown with the cops and Captain Stacy and stuff. Where he finally reveals it's him.
Yeah.
And obviously he has to let him go because his daughter is, in danger. So he gets shot by accident, and then he goes from being this like maybe villainish in the public's eye to a bunch of construction workers helping him, with cranes and everything just to get him to the Oscar Tower.
That's cool. I like that scene too. I think the beginning scene with the lizard coming out of the floor at the high school, that first, I guess you could say, fight.
Yeah, the whole fight
I
scene
think
was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think that it was very strong, that third act. It was really good. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. All right. So hang tight. All right, guys. I'm not gonna fucking lie. This is the fucking worst movie out of all the Spider-Man movies we're gonna do. Sorry, not sorry.
I agree with
I
you.
like the scene.
I
The
like
third one was bad.
You really think?
Where's the Bully Maguire for sure?
Spider-Man 3, Piano Spider-Man. I think. I mean, okay. Well, it might have been. They're like the same, but I think this one's just like a little bit more. But
At least Spider-Man 3 made me laugh.
it may. I don't know. Spider-Man.
I was just
3
like,
just
this
made me
whole time.
cringe. But
We were into it.
Sad.
that movie was just fucking. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, so I say I didn't like this. Why? We'll start off with that, and I'll lead off with Maggie. Why is this Spider-Man 3 better? Why is this movie better than Spider-Man 3?
Personally, I feel like it's just because I don't know. Some could argue that this is the reason why it's like the worst, but I feel like it's because it it took itself very seriously, and I feel like the Spider-Man 3 and stuff did also took itself pretty seriously, but I feel like it took itself way too seriously to the point where it like turned really comedic, which is not something I personally like from movies. It
Serious?
took itself seriously, but didn't
Serious?
take it to yeah, didn't take it to a comedic level and stuff. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed it more than I did.
I don't know what kind of serious movie
Spider-Man
they were trying to put with my boy dancing all over the piano and bitch slapping women. We don't like that on Beers with Brando. But okay, was it you or Kate that said? I'm sorry. This is horrible.
We did not, yeah, we're not condoning Willie McGuire's actions. Let's just get that clear before our 3 followers cancel us.
Here on the Beers with Brando, we do not appreciate domestic violence towards women, and we respect women's rights here on this podcast. Okay.
Acting.
Agreed.
Okay. So getting back to it. So Kay in German, you guys like this movie better than Spider-Man 3?
German said no.
No,
I did. I liked it better.
traitor.
You don't know about that movie.
Okay, so we're gonna be very.
I definitely like Spider-Man 3 more. Yeah, I mean, they were both messy. They were both very bad movies, but I can say Spider-Man 3 got more reactions out of me, I think. Either good or bad, it made me feel something. This movie was kind of like, in my opinion, it just dragged. Like I couldn't wait to get to the ending part. And I'm just realizing now that I totally forgot that Harry Osborn was in that movie.
That's rude.
I'm totally remembering that he was in that movie. That definitely wasn't James Franco. That guy was fugly. But
and can you believe they made him worse?
And then they made him worse. Yeah.
I'm like, who's this fucking Pete Wentz guy? And then fucking they really fucking fucked him up. Speaking of making worse though, I'm gonna cut you again. So Jamie Foxx was Jamie Foxx was supposed to really elevate this movie. You know what I mean? If you're like, but have you guys seen The Watchmen? Are you guys heard of? You guys know who Dr. Manhattan is? The all blue guy.
Yeah.
That's what fucking he looks like, dude. He doesn't look like an Electro. He just looks like a fucking blue man, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I did not like.
What was wrong with that? He's fucking blue, bro.
He was just blue,
yeah, bro.
Like he looked like a bully, bro.
I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with his design, dude. Before and after he became Electro, before he turned to Electro, motherfucker looking like a lollipop thrown on the floor with peach fuzz on his head and shit.
Oh, shit.
Like what the fuck is that?
He looks like the inside of.
I get it. They were trying to.
I'm sorry, Jamie Foxx.
I get it. Like they were trying to make him look like before he turned into Electro. They were trying to make him look as just this like a loser, I guess. But like they didn't have to go that hard.
You know when you buy a pack of bullies and you leave them in the freezer too long, he looks like a blue one. That's what he looked like.
Got a little frost to the top. Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like.
He looked
But
like
even
he looked like Frostbite, bro.
But even his story, it just didn't make any sense, bro. Like, you know, first of all, how he turned into Electro, whack, you know,
That was the
with
laziest fucking story writing ever.
with the EOS and shit, you know. I can't say that that's not how the comics do it because I don't remember honestly how he in the comics becomes Electro. So I don't know if that's actually like true to the comics or not. But I don't know, man. They could have done a better job. Like he's just a loser, right? He gets saved by Spider-Man, and he just becomes obsessed with him, which you know it's a real thing that people can become obsessed with, like people that save their lives and things like that. But it just didn't make any sense, dude. Like his whole villain arc. I like the Harry Osborn kind of storyline a little bit better, you know?
Okay, storyline.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. I didn't like this Harry Osborn at all, you know? Compared to at least James Franco and the Tobey Maguire movies. But at least the story to me it made a little more sense. But yeah, it's just it felt like Spider-Man 3 all over again. But worse.
Exactly. Okay, what do you think about our boy Jamie Foxx? Did you like his performance at least a little bit, or what are your thoughts?
I but I did like his performance. I mean, like we said, like I wasn't a huge fan of like his costume and design and everything that they had going on, but like I found myself empathizing with him. So yeah, I liked his character, the way they portrayed him as like this outcast guy and everything who just like ends up going off on the world because of how much the world has ignored him and stuff, you know. So I don't know. I liked it. So it's good.
Yeah, I think I don't know. With Jamie Foxx, I feel like he at the time it made sense because they were gonna go bigger with that movie. And the first one was successful, whether we don't like it or not. It's true. But just the writing in this story is really fucking bad. It's I don't understand too, because this movie's 2.5 hours long, and for like Electro's story to be like really fucking shitty, like why? You had all this fucking time too. You know what I mean? And you know what else was shitty? We'll get to it a little bit, but the Rhino character by Paul Giamatti. Dude, that he didn't even look like the Rhino. He looked like a fucking Lego Bionicle, dude. It didn't it didn't look good at all, but
I didn't even remember him. I mean, he was there in the beginning and then at the end, you know, and they were.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm like, oh, it's the same geezer from the truck.
Yeah, I was. They were building up to like, they were building up to a third movie that you know obviously didn't happen. But I mean, Jamie Foxx, his performance was good, you know, for the script that he got. You know, he did it well. It's just the script, in my opinion. I mean, I ain't no fucking script writer and shit, but thanks. But it just, I don't know, man. It's just.
Don't you know I'm Electro?
I mean, it's just not it.
Yeah.
And then, but the character that I did like it was Gwen Stacey. I think we can jump onto Gwen Stacey.
We'll get to there because there's one more character I want to talk about with a certain person, Maggie. So this Harry Osborn. First of all, before I unleash hell on this Harry Osborn, tell me why, in the most concisely way possible, you like James Franco more than this Harry Osborn guy. I don't even know his fucking name.
Okay. I know. Okay, so
well, she's handsome.
In terms of looks, I definitely do prefer James Franco. But I feel like story-wise, I prefer this Harry Osborn and stuff than I did the James Franco's Harry Osborn. If only because I feel like this Harry Osborn definitely, like, he was able to stand up for himself. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm a big fan of, like, sad boy characters and, like, angst and whatnot, and James Franco had all of that with, like, his father hating him essentially and almost replacing him with Peter. But I really like this Harry Osborn out here, like, bad mouthing his father on his deathbed. I don't know. I just thought it was very entertaining.
So
Um,
for me, I he really came up like uptight, rich boy type thing, but I think that worked. I think it was good for him, but just the performance of him, and this goes back, I think, just to the writing. It was very underwhelming. You know what I mean? He really came off like a little, like snobby little boy, and then just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I think they were trying to replicate a little bit of that brotherhood that they had in the other Spider-Man trilogy, Marvel, but yeah, just the characters in this was really bad. But one thing, like German said, was Gwen Stacy, which once again I think she did an amazing job. These two movies, definitely the highlight. I don't know if you guys read the comic or the story, but I think having Gwen die, especially in the fashion they did, made sense because go
Yeah.
ahead.
What do you mean?
So suppose yeah. So in the comic, Green Goblin kills Gwen Stacy. And I believe in the comic it was like on a bridge or something, but I mean they kind of basically did it. Because they really teased that he was gonna save her, and that final scene, the death scene, but she died.
Yeah, I really thought he was gonna save her.
Yeah,
I was like, it,
that was the only thing that saved this movie. I think if she lived, this movie would have been fucking horrible. But at the same time, I think when people found out she died, they're like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, like we were saying, amazing job, dude. Probably the highlight of this movie, in my opinion, even more than Peter Parker himself, she just, like Katie was saying in the other movie, they kind of set her up to be like independent of Peter Parker. She is smart. She's kind of like, she got a pair of nuts in her, she's willing to get her hands in there dirty, even if it's in danger, and obviously that didn't work out too well in the end for her. But but at least she was not screaming like a little bitch for 3 hours, she went there, try to fight the Green Goblin, do whatever she could, and things happen. But I liked her acting, Emma Stone's acting. I mean, I know she's a great actress in general, but her on this role of Gwen Stacy is, in my opinion, better than the Mary Jane from Tobey Maguire movies. And it just felt like they had really good chemistry, her and Andrew Garfield, in my opinion. But yeah, I agree that killing her at the end is gave the movie. It was good for the movie, I think. Just to kind of
first
close
the story. It made sense for her to die, but
yeah, but the story made sense. I'm not sure where they were planning to take it next, but it left me kind of curious as to what was going to happen to him after.
Well, I'll tell you what was supposed to happen, because Gwen Stacy was his first girlfriend originally, because then Mary Jane Watson is supposed to fucking show up, and they recorded her scenes for this movie, and when it came to edit the film, they're like, nah, they scraped it all completely. They shot Mary Jane films for this movie, and they scraped it. And I think she's even on a deleted scene, but the actual scene is just kind of her walking out. It's a girl in red hair, so everybody's supposed to know. She just walks out of like her job, like, oh, what's going on? And then that's it. But I don't know what they were trying to do.
I'm glad they scrapped it. Yeah, I'm glad they scrapped it, because I felt like it would have just felt like, oh yeah, we're moving on. From Gwen Stacy.
But
yeah, no, I mean, she did great. I know Katie's a big fan of Emma Stone, and she really liked the Gwen Stacy character.
Yeah. You're good. And I got noise in the back too. We'll go ahead and wrap this up real quick. But the Sinister Six, the tease, I wasn't even feeling it, man. 2.5 hours, and you get to a fucking rhino Lego man, and just
Mm.
I
Yeah,
don't know. This
I
movie's
thought about
amazing.
that too. I thought originally it was like a mid credit scene or something, but no, it was totally it's like in the movie.
Yeah.
You can see the dog cock arms, and then you can see the vulture wings,
Vulture wings, yeah.
and I'm pretty sure I don't remember if you could see this Venom symbiote or if that was like a deleted scene, but I remember seeing it somewhere. But I'm pretty sure it was there in the movie. One of those squares. There's like a
Yeah.
little gooey thing.
Okay.
So maybe they were planning to explore Venom. I'm curious as to what their vision was. If they were gonna do it. Obviously, we didn't get a Venom until recently with Tom Hardy. But that would have been cool to see, or at least another interpretation of him after the shitty ass Venom we got in Spider-Man 3.
And the one with Tom Hardy. What? I'm just kidding. That's another shitty episode. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Overall thoughts of this movie. I'll go ahead and start with Maggie. Overall, the whole Tom. What's this guy's name? Andrew Garfield.
Maybe I'm just biased because I really like Andrew Garfield. That could very well be it. But I definitely preferred these two movies over the other Spider-Man movies.
All right, how do you
Very.
how do you kick people out of Zoom meeting?
It's
No.
it's okay.
It's like we were saying, even before watching the movies. It's just different interpretations. Of the character, of the storylines, and a lot of people like these Amazing Spider-Man movies, and he has a great following that are looking forward to hopefully seeing him in No Way Home. Just the way people have. Tobey Maguire has a following, and Tom Holland. But I can see why Maggie liked it. They're not horrible movies. The first one is a great movie, I think. And the second one is in my opinion is pretty bad, but it's not the worst movie I've seen in my life.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of more superhero movies that were. Wait till we do Fantastic Four. That was a fucking shit show. But
Hey, that was a good one.
well, the reboot.
Oh, I never watched that piece of shit, bro.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. But before I get to Kate and German, Maggie, what would you think the chemistry would be between Emma Stone and James Franco?
What do you think the chemistry would be? Honestly, I don't think Emma Stone would buy into it. I mean, the reason why she liked this Peter Parker was because he seemed like a pretty nice guy. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like James Franco's like Harry Osborn had his moments of being nice. I feel like he if given a chance, he could be a pretty good like character in a relationship. I don't know. Yeah, but what's it called? But I don't know. I feel like she just wouldn't dig it. She just would not take any of his.
She's a good girl.
Yeah, she's good.
She's better than him.
Unlike that toxic bitch, Mary Jane.
Like over here falling in love or making some shitty omelets.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they was making mac and cheese. Anyhow, German and Kay. what you guys final thoughts of this?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Well, yeah, personally, I really enjoyed these two movies. I thought they all, like, between all the Spider-Mans, I thought they all did well portraying, like, their different versions of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And yeah, I mean, I did like Andrew Garfield's version a lot. And I mean, German knows this, but I'm a sucker for like the love stories and everything. So like, I think what really sold me on this was just that story between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacey, I think. Because I pretty much just loved every scene that they were in together. And I was like, but yeah, but I really liked it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I think we found our Andrew Garfield fan base, German.
I think we did.
Is,
I think we
is
did.
within us.
But it's okay. I still love her.
We were-
We worked through it. Not every relationship is perfect. um,
strike one. Okay,
yeah.
but
I still agree that and we were talking about it before that the relationship between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy is miles better than the whole 3 movies of relationship that Peter Parker had with Mary Jane over there.
absolutely.
First of all, this character is loyal, unlike MJ.
What
She's
a toxic
independent.
bitch.
She's smart, and they just had a really good chemistry. Even just Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone with their script. But yeah, overall, my final thoughts: not horrible movies. I have to admit, I remember them being worse than they actually were. The first one I enjoyed a lot. I would rewatch it. The second one, not maybe with a couple of beers and with a purpose, as this was. And then, I mean, I'm also looking forward to seeing him. Maybe I'm not as hyped up to see him. Well, we didn't even know we are gonna see them, but maybe I'm not as hyped up about him coming back as Toby. But I'm sure Katie and Maggie will make that up for me.
Yeah, we'll see. It's good that we're all well rounded.
They're horrible movies. I would have liked to see an Amazing Spider-Man 3. Hopefully, maybe redeem themselves from the Spider-Man 2 that they had, and introduce the Sinister Six, which to this day we still haven't really gotten a Sinister Six movie. I think that's where we're heading now. But solid movies.
Who's the 6th guy? Mysterio?
For
No Way
well, we
Home.
don't even have.
Because
So far, there's only 5 villains confirmed for No Way Home, but they haven't.
Who's the 6th? Vulture or Mysterio? Or is it somebody else?
Maybe nobody.
Maybe it's that Mary Jane.
Maybe it's Batman. Yeah. Maybe it's the Rent guy.
Yeah. Oh,
I forgot his name.
No rent, no home.
Yeah, Rent, no home.
That's my favorite meme. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up now. We're gonna sign off. All right, so next episode, this is it. Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm fucking excited. I'm ecstatic, dude. So
we are a week away from Spider-Man No Way Home. We had a really fun time trying to get tickets for that. And we succeeded. We were able to get our tickets. I know. And then we were able to get tickets for Katie's brother and his girlfriend. That was fun. We spent over a good hour and 20 and an hour 30 trying to get tickets for all of us. We do have to mob it all the way to Poway, but it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Kate. Go ahead. Wow. No, you're good. You're good. I'm wow, as in I'm mad at myself.
Oh no, you're fine. I will say that doing this, the podcast and actually watching all these movies through, I feel like it made me a little more excited than I actually was for this new Spider-Man movie. And I'm super stoked to we don't know if we're gonna see them all, but if we do, I'm super stoked to see them all 3 of them, not even just Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland or the other one. Just kidding. Tobey Maguire. I'm stoked to see them all. And yeah, I'm excited.
All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and sign off. All right. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.